Far out in the darkness of space, an object unlike anything we have ever seen is hurtling toward the heart of our solar system. It is old. It is alien. And for the past several weeks, some of the most powerful eyes humanity has ever turned toward the skies have been locked onto this strange interstellar traveler. What they have witnessed has not brought comfort, but confusion. Each new discovery about this object only deepens the mystery. And with every passing day, the window to study it grows smaller. Soon, it will vanish behind the blinding glare of the sun, and we may never see it this close again. The question presses heavier now than ever before. What exactly is this thing? Before we dive into this mystery racing through our solar system, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because what's coming next could change everything we thought we knew about the universe. Welcome back to Beyond the Stars. The official designation is 3I Atlas. That cryptic name tells us two important things right away. The I stands for interstellar. This is not a native child of our solar system. It comes from the distant reaches of the galaxy, ejected from a star system that may be unimaginably far away. The 3 marks its rarity. This is only the third interstellar object that humanity has ever detected. Just 3 in the entire history of astronomy. The first, discovered in 2017, was the enigmatic oumuamua, the cigar-shaped wanderer that sparked endless debates about its origin. The second, spotted in 2019, was Borisov, a comet that looked and behaved almost exactly like the ones we see at home, except it had crossed light years to pay us a visit. But this third visitor, 3I Atlas, may prove to be the strangest of them all. The first official detection happened on July 1, 2025, thanks to the Asterisk Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, better known as ATLAS. That's where its name comes from. At that time, it was lurking between Mars and Jupiter. But later, astronomers combing through older data realized the story went back further. The Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS, had actually caught sight of this mysterious object on May 7th, though at the time it was mistaken for a distant speck. Back then, 3I Atlas was still out beyond Jupiter, racing inward. In only a few short months, it had already crossed an enormous gulf of space. The speed alone told us something critical. This object could not possibly be bound to our sun. It was moving too fast to be captured by gravity. Its orbit was hyperbolic, meaning it would come in, swing around the sun, and then leave forever. But speed was not the only strange thing. When TESS first noticed it, 3I Atlas was already shining brightly, far brighter than any comet should at such a distance. Comets, as we understand them, are chunks of frozen ice and dust. They remain dim and lifeless until they drift closer to the sun. Only then, when solar heat warms their frozen shells, do they begin to shed gases in a process called sublimation. That's when they sprout their glowing comas and iconic tails. But 3I Atlas didn't wait. It began glowing long before it crossed the orbit of Jupiter, as if it was powered by something else entirely. This is where the comparisons grow fascinating. Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor, confounded scientists by showing no signs of sublimation at all. It didn't behave like a comet, nor like an asteroid. It was barren and dry, yet it accelerated slightly as though some invisible force was pushing it. Borisov, the second, played it safe. It was a classic comet, trailing a tail, shedding dust, acting exactly as expected, except for the fact that it had traveled from another star. Atlas, however, is something in between. It shows a coma, like a comet, but its behavior defies the rules. The strangest sign came in July and August, when telescopes observed the formation of Atlas' tail. Instead of streaming away from the sun like every comet we've ever seen, the tail appeared to stretch toward the sun, against the solar wind. This is like watching smoke billow into the face of a roaring fan. It simply doesn't make sense. Solar wind is relentless, always blowing outward. To resist it, to point back toward the source, suggests something very unusual is happening with this object. Astronomers were intrigued enough to unleash their heaviest instruments. Hubble turned its legendary mirror onto Atlas. The James Webb Space Telescope, with its unmatched infrared vision, joined the hunt. Even Sphere-X, a newer observatory designed to probe cosmic origins, was tasked to study it, and again, TESS was called back for a second look. Each telescope revealed a new piece of the puzzle, but none brought final clarity. The first big revelation came from Webb. Atlas's coma was not water-dominated, like every familiar comet, but overwhelmingly carbon dioxide. In fact, the ratio of carbon dioxide to water was 8:1. That means 16 times more carbon dioxide than water. No comet in our solar system has ever shown such a composition. Imagine living your whole life in a world of oceans, then discovering a world where the oceans are made of liquid methane instead. That's how alien this discovery was. It suggests Atlas formed in a solar system where the chemistry was radically different, where carbon dioxide ice was abundant and water was scarce. The scale of its coma was equally shocking. It stretched outward for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, so vast that if you placed it beside our sun, it would cover nearly half the star's diameter. And this immense cloud hinted that the solid core inside might be far larger than we thought. Early estimates put it at around 11 kilometers. New data pushed that to as much as 46 kilometers across. Not the largest comet nucleus ever, but still immense, and combined with the chemical composition, utterly unique. But then came the discovery that tilted the conversation toward even stranger territory. Using the Very Large Telescope in Chile, astronomers detected nickel metal within the coma. At first glance, this might seem ordinary. Nickel and iron are cosmic companions. They're born in the same fiery deaths of stars, always fused together, always present side by side. Yet here was nickel alone, with no detectable iron. This should be impossible. The only context in which we ever find nickel separated from iron is in human industry, when we deliberately refine and process metals. So how could an untouched, natural object drifting in from the galaxy arrive with nickel, but now iron? Was this simply a fluke of chemistry from a distant alien star system, or was it evidence of something not natural at all? This is where speculation, both scientific and wild, took off. Some suggested perhaps Atlas is not a comet at all, but an alien probe. Its brightening as it approached the inner system could be explained not just by sublimation of CO2 ice, but by the activation of artificial systems, like lights or energy releases. Others pushed further. What if the cloud of carbon dioxide once sublimated ice, but vented atmosphere from a ship filled with life, exhaling waste gases as it crossed the void? And then there was the most bizarre, almost poetic theory. Perhaps Atlas itself is alive, a vast cosmic organism, feeding on dust and gas, breathing out carbon dioxide as a byproduct of some unimaginable metabolism. Scientists, of course, remain skeptical. The simplest explanation is usually correct, and the CO2 coma may be just a natural oddity from a star system with unusual chemistry. Yet, what makes Atlas so compelling is that we cannot completely rule out the more exotic possibilities. We simply do not know. And time is slipping away. As Atlas approaches the sun, our view will soon be lost in the glare. Before that happens, astronomers have mobilized every available tool. In early October, as Atlas passes near Mars, two orbiters, the European Space Agency's Mars Express and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, will aim their cameras at it. From tens of millions of kilometers away, they hope to capture images sharp enough to reveal the true shape of the solid body hidden inside the coma. We may finally see whether it is round like a typical comet nucleus, elongated like oumuamua, or something stranger still. After that, we face a long pause. By late October, Atlas will slip behind the sun from Earth's perspective, disappearing into the brilliance. Not until December will it emerge again, heading outward, already fading. Then, on March 16, 2026, it will pass Jupiter one last time, on its way out of the solar system forever. That close brush with Jupiter offers one final opportunity. NASA's Juno spacecraft, still orbiting the gas giant, could attempt to intercept Atlas or at least capture precious images as it streaks past. Juno was originally scheduled to end its mission in 2025, crashing into Jupiter. But now, there is a push to extend its life, to give it one last daring assignment: chase an interstellar traveler. The thought is almost cinematic. A lone, aging probe, launched nearly a decade ago, trying to meet an alien visitor at the edge of the solar system, a messenger from Earth, reaching out toward a messenger from another star. The data it could return might not give us definitive answers, but it would be priceless. Even if Juno cannot make it, astronomers around the world will continue piecing together the mystery. Atlas has already forced us to confront questions about how planetary systems form, what materials shape them, and whether life, or something like it, could exist in forms we can barely imagine. It has reminded us that our little solar system is not isolated. The galaxy is dynamic, filled with wanderers, and from time to time, they come knocking on our door. For now, 3I Atlas remains a riddle, a glowing carbon dioxide-shrouded riddle, racing toward the sun. Maybe it is just a comet, strange but natural, a frozen relic from a distant star, born long before our own. Maybe it is something more, an artifact, a probe, or even a creature. We may never know for sure, but what is certain is this: the universe just handed us a mystery unlike any other, and for a brief moment in time, we have the chance to look it in the eye before it disappears forever into the dark. The universe just handed us a riddle. The season falls and bears, and it's racing away faster than we can solve it. If you want to keep following stories like this, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments, what do you think 3I Atlas really is?